Shalom. So I kind of just had what what we call birthday or whatever recently, and throughout the day I was having to do a lot of explaining of why I didn't celebrate my birthday or whatever, and I figured it'd just be a good teachable moment real quick. You know what I'm saying? Going a couple verses, something real quick. So I'm gonna go to the prophet of Jeremiah, right? And he reads Jeremiah 20:14. Cursed be the day wherein I was born. Let not the day wherein my mother bare me be blessed. Because, for Israelite, black, Hispanic, Native American, man, woman, and child, we lost our first estate for once. So we're born into these sinful bodies, the sinful flesh. You know what I'm saying? We're born into captivity. We're born into oppression among these other nations. You know what I'm saying? The earth is not in its proper estate. So it's not like it's not a blessing to be born into sin and corruption and captivity, right? Well, I'm going to get more examples on it real quick, all right? I'm going to get the book of Job, Job chapter 1 and 4 in the NIV. His sons used to hold feast in their homes on their birthdays, and they would invite their three sisters to eat and drink with them. When a period of feasting had ran its course, Job would make arrangements for them to be purified. Why did they need to be purified, right? Early in the morning, he would sacrifice a burnt offering for each of them. Why is he making a sacrifice for each of them, right? Thinking, perhaps my children have sinned and cursed God in their hearts, because that wasn't nothing that we did. That was a custom of the heathen, you know what I'm saying? And that's like setting yourself up as an idol to be worshipped, you know what I'm saying? Everybody praising you that day, and there's only one who's supposed to be praised, you know what I'm saying? So this is an example of Israelite man making sacrifices for his children committing the sin of birthdays, since form idolatry. But let's keep going though. Let's get some more. Second Maccabees chapter 6, and I'm gonna start at verse 7. And in that day, and in the day of the king's birth, every month they were brought to a bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifice. So they was brought forth, right? And let me just get you straight point. The Jews were compelled to go into procession to Bacchus carrying ivy. Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews. So this went against the Jews, that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers in their sacrifices. They was forced to celebrate birthdays. And guess what happened? And whosoever would not conform to these manners of the Gentiles should be put to death. So if the Jews didn't celebrate, like I just said earlier, that was a heathen custom. And if the Jews didn't want to conform to the heathen custom, they would be put to death, because that wasn't a part of our customs. That's why Job had to make a sacrifice for his children, because they committed a sin of idolatry.